Above all else, I want to see differently. This is David. Welcome. Now let's get into it. Now remember, yesterday's lesson was above all else I want to see. Today's, it is above all else I want to see differently. The world I see holds my fearful self-image in place and guarantees its continuance. While I see the world as I see it now, truth cannot enter my awareness. I would let the door behind this world be opened for me, that I may look past it to the world that reflects the love of my Creator. Today, we are really giving specific application to the idea for yesterday. In this practice period, you will be making a series of definite commitments. The question of whether you will keep them in future is not our concern here. If I like that. If you're willing to at least to make them now, to do this exercise now, you have started on the way to keeping them. And we are still at the beginning. So like we said yesterday, don't worry, just keep moving. And don't worry about whether you're going to keep them in future. You may wonder why it is important to say, for example, above all else, I want to see this table differently. In itself, it is not important at all. Yet what is by itself? And what does in itself mean? You see a lot of separate things about you, which really means you are not seeing at all. You either see or not. When you have seen one thing differently, you will see all things differently. The light you will see in any one of them is the same light you will see in them all. Okay, let's slow down here. What it's saying is, today's exercise is going to take you around maybe your room or something, and then it's going to make you say things like, above all else, I want to see this table differently, that chair differently, that kind of thing. And then it's saying, but it's really not important. It's not. The table and the chair is not really that important. Okay, the important thing is this. Number one, as long as you're seeing separation around you, it means you're not seeing at all. Okay. Number two, when you see that table differently, then you will see everything else differently. So it's saying it's not that the table matters, but seeing the table differently will automatically show you everything else differently. So it doesn't really matter what you're practicing on, because everything is one. That's what it's trying to tell you here. Everything is one. Okay? So any one piece of the one reflects the whole. Does that make sense? Like, even if the table is just part of the one, so if you see the table differently, then you've seen the whole one differently. That's what they're trying to say here. Anyways, when you say, above all else, I want to see this table differently, you're making a commitment to withdraw your preconceived ideas about the table and open your mind to what it is and what it is for. You are not defining it in past terms. You are asking what it is rather than telling it what it is. You're not binding its meaning to your tiny experience of tables, nor are you limiting its purpose to your little personal thoughts. Now, this might sound meaningless, but like I've said before in this course together, I had an experience where everything took on such a light, such a life. Things that we call dead things, such as what do you call them? Bricks, or even things like sunlight that doesn't seem, it just seems like light, or even trees that just seem to be shaking green things and green and brown. Everything took on this amazing. During those 20 minutes, I'm not going to repeat it all here because you've heard me talking about it, but in those 20 minutes, everything took on a life I have never seen in anything before. So behind this world that we look at, that rock that you kicked on your way to your car this morning, or it's got more life and more intelligence and more, I don't know what else to tell you, divinity and all that, than you can possibly imagine, but you're not seeing it. It's as if you're seeing life dead, switched on, or switched off, dead and separated, compared to how you'll see it when it's one. I don't know whether that makes sense. But anyways, I was just trying to say here, when they're talking about that you are no longer telling the table what it is, you're no longer looking at it based on past definitions and terms. You are willing to drop your idea about the table and open your mind so that the table can tell you what it is for. I'm trying to suggest to you that in living experience, I have seen that these things are not what they appear to be, literally. So it's not a theoretical thing here. They're talking about very practical. If you can just take the statements for what they are, they really are talking as simple as they are. There's no hidden agenda here. It's literally telling you that what you're seeing, you're projecting separation. And if you are to stop doing that, what you're seeing would surprise you. You will not question what you have already defined. Yeah, that's true. And the purpose of these exercises is to ask questions and receive the answers. In saying, above all else, I want to see this table differently, you are committing yourself to seeing. And remember, you will not question what you have already defined, so it's asking you to stop defining so that you may question. It is not an exclusive commitment. It is a commitment that applies to the table just as much as to anything else, neither more nor less. So that's exactly what we said, that you can pick the table, the chair, whatever. It doesn't matter what you pick, because it will apply universally to everything after that. Okay? You could, in fact, gain vision from just that table if you withdraw all your own ideas from it and you look upon it with a completely open mind. It has something to show you, something beautiful and clean and of infinite value, full of happiness and hope. Hidden under all your ideas about it is its real purpose, the purpose it shares with all the universe. This is so exciting, people. I'm telling you, I've seen this. Yeah? It says, the cause is saying that the table has something to show you, something beautiful and clean and of infinite value, full of happiness and hope. It sounds crazy, but the table has that to show you. And it's saying that hidden under all your ideas about its real purpose, you know, you think it's just there so you can put a coffee cup on it or a plate of food. But it has a real purpose. And this purpose it shares with all the universe, because remember, it's one. Everything is one. This is so powerful stuff, guys. In using the table as a subject for applying the idea for today, you are therefore really asking to see the purpose of the universe. You will be making this same request for each subject that you use in the practice periods. And you're making a commitment to each of them to let its purpose be revealed to you instead of placing your own judgment upon it. Wow. Placing your own judgment upon it. Have you realized now, the course is telling you so many things in one sentence, that when you look at something with a preconceived definition, you're already judging it. So judging is not really between two people. It's saying that you're judging the universe. It's saying that you're judging even the table by telling the table that the only good you are for is to put a cup of coffee on. And there's nothing else good about you. That's it. When you're done, I'll break you up and throw you in the dump. That's a judgment. Anyways, let's not get really heavy. I just get really excited about these things sometimes. But please go ahead, read the instructions below and do your exercise for today. Thank you very much and see you tomorrow.